Okay. Setting proper motivation, which consists of 3 parts. The refuge field. Visualize all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the enlightened beings such as Arya Avalokiteshvara, Arya Manjushri, Arya Vajrapani, Arya Maitreya, Arya Tara, Arya Nagarjuna, Bodhisattva, Arya Deva, Acharya Bhaviveka, Acharya Chandrakirti, and Arya Sangha, Acharya Vasubandhu, Acharya Dignaga, Acharya Dharmakirti, then Bodhisattva Shanideva, Bodhisattva Shandarakshita, Acharya Kamalashil, then the great saint Saraha, the master Tilopa, the master Naropa, Chizumarpa, Chizumila, Chizungambaba, and then the Indonesian, the great teacher, Lama Selingpa, and Adishadebungarishiri Jnana, and all the enlightened beings in the space in front of us. And even though you may not be able to identify each one of them, don't worry. I'm just mentioning the sacred names to connect each one of us with these great enlightened beings. So you hear these names today, and later on, when you hear this name again, it will spark an imprint within you to be feeling connected with them, and then you will imbibe their qualities. And how we visualize them? They're so loving, caring, and embracing. Bodhicitta field. Visualize your 2 kind parents. This is something that we need to revolutionize in our mind, where in the world today, particularly among the modern educated people, there's a tremendous love towards your parents, but then tremendous love towards your children, but not so much to your parents. This is what happens. It's very strange. I don't understand it. And it seems as well like a norm. So this is exactly what Charles Darwin said. Charles Darwin said that the whole purpose for the procreation is to take care of the children, so the species continue, and then your parents just forget. So if there's somebody here, if there are people here in this group who takes care of your parents, that's amazing. I really appreciate it. And this is of course, it doesn't mean that you have neglected children. Your children are so precious, but let us not forget to, they think of the parents equally important and precious. Okay, many more to talk about it, but later in the classes. So visualize your parents, your children, and all your family members, and all the animals, all the human beings, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddesses, spirits, and in fact all the sentient beings in this world, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe. And how you visualize them? Here you are like the mother, and all others are like children, and here you are so compassionate, loving, caring, and embracing, to the extent that each one of the sentient beings, they feel themselves as so special in your eyes. And the purpose of this practice, let's not forget, the purpose of this practice, the same purpose in secular context and in Dharma context, but the same thing. In a secular context, we are aiming to attain And the total fearlessness to get rid of miseries, number one. Number two, to embrace infinite happiness. In Dharma context, in Dharma labels, the total fearlessness to get rid of all the miseries is known as nirvana. To get infinite happiness known as Buddhahood. And Buddhahood for oneself, Buddhahood for all sentient beings, these two are synonymous, which we will learn later. We have to learn. And how do we do that is that we don't have to look for the Buddhahood outside. This is what the Buddha and the great student of Nagarjuna, the Acharya Nagabodhi, said it, that the Buddhahood is not bestowed upon you by anybody. No anyone holds the causes of the Buddhahood for you. It is you discovering the seed of the Buddhahood within you that you become enlightened. This is the Tibetan version. So with this in mind, our job is to awaken this Buddha, the seed of perfection, seed of Buddhahood that exists within each one of us. And so you are male, female, you are from Eastern or Western, it doesn't matter. You are believer, non-believer. Everyone has this seed of perfection. Our job is just to separate this Buddha nature from the mental defilements. How to do that? We have to know the nature of the mental defilements. Nature of mental defilements is rooted to the ignorance. Either its offshoots or the subtle stains. The ignorance along with the offshoots are known as the afflictive obscurations. And the subtle stains are referred to as the cognitive obscurations. And this, the offshoots, ignorance along with the offshoots, the gross ones, they are responsible in stopping us from attaining nirvana or total fearlessness. And whereas the subtle stains, they block us from attaining full enlightenment or infinite happiness for yourself and for all other beings. And to get rid of these, we have to resort to the wisdom, very powerful wisdom, which is actually the wisdom, very powerful wisdom manifested in the form of the true nature of your own mind. And this true nature of the mind should see this, the ultimate reality as it is. And to get to that level of the advancement of your practice, that requires a wisdom derived through meditation. For that, it should be preceded by the wisdom derived through reflection, to gain conviction in the efficacy of the ultimate reality, emptiness, and to gain conviction in the subjective clear light, also referred to as the Mahamoudra. And to reach to that level of the conviction, you need to have extensive studies. So therefore, the Buddha emphasized so much on the need for extensive studies, study of the Dharma, study, reflection, meditation, and study that too very systematic studies. So important. Not just, okay, this one teacher coming to Kalachakra, teaching for 1 week, 2 days, 10 days. Just attending these will not suffice. These are good just to stimulate you in terms of practice, but there should be some systematic studies involved there. For example, like the basic program that you find in Kalachakra Center in Paris. So these are things that we have to go for. Very systematic studies. This is how we build up our knowledge. And then once in a while, some other teachers come to the Kalachakra Center, give like 1 week teaching, 10-day teaching. These are to invigorate whatever you have, say, studied. That's how we can do that. So with this in mind, whole purpose here, this practice is for the none other than to cleanse the mind of the mental defilements, so that the true nature of the mind becomes manifest to see the reality as it is. So imagine that you are leading this recitation and all beings are joining you with your two parents, your children, and all beings, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are watching us. With this in mind, let us recite the verses. English, page 3. And used by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And used by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And used by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sanje joda soge chonam la chanjo bardo dane gyapsu che dage jinso gebe sonam gi tola benjire sanje rubare jo sanje joda soge chonam chanjo bardo dane gyapsu che dage jinso gebe sonam gi tola benjire sanje rubare jo sanje joda soge chonam la chanjo bardo dane gyapsu che dage jinso gebe sonam tola benjire sanje rubare jo. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this place which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths, co-source in helping Margaris achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience self-subdue has expounded varieties of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector, to you are my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light raised, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence I gain the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vate mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vate mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vate mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite. Such is the nectar dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I'll return to the woods. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, are obeisance. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dhamma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light with Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. Instructions on parting from the four attachments. If attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Page 14, English, praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. And, as we recite these following lines, we need to keep in mind that, yes, this is all the praise to the Buddha, the identifying the qualities of the Buddha, praising the Buddha on the basis of his qualities. And as we recite, it's not that if you praise the Buddha, Buddha will be very happy, it will give you blessings. This is not the point. This is not how it works. It is not the reality. Simply by praising, you know you are great. It is not how, on the basis of qualities. You identify the qualities, and the point is that we remember these qualities. So we remind ourselves of these qualities. See if you have some of these qualities within you, and then if you see that, okay, I have partly some part of this are with me. If you feel that, rejoice and see how to nurture them further. And if you see that these are missing, don't worry. The seeds, the fact that you discovered that they are missing within you, this is also very precious. So from this, you'll be inspired to cultivate these qualities within you. So for that matter, as I since that everyone has the seed of these perfect qualities. So we need to germinate these qualities, plant these seeds, and let them germinate, and then see that you are growing in the path. Okay, this is how it should be said. And then the verses, number 1, where it said, then you pace your 7 strides, and then said, I'm supreme in this world. So this was, just imagine the Buddha when he was just born. For us, when we are born, what we do, we only know one thing, that is to cry. And the Buddha, the born, he said that, have no worries, I'm there to help you, I'm there to support you, to take you to the supreme destination. So this is what the Buddha said when he was born. So it should not be said that, it should not be thought of like, somebody who is grown up and then said that I'm the supreme. This is not the point. Said that in a way that, don't worry, I'm there to protect you, I'll help you, I'm there to help. Just be there and have no worries. So in fact, the Buddha is consoling us. Buddha is giving us the protection. There's a connotation. So we need to remember these qualities and see how to best benefit others. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the fourth destroyer, completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God with human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, are prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, You pace our seven strides, then said, I'm supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, frame that blazes in the three worlds, winner the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dusty like you, the three worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any known virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the four faults, and be delivered from the samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Now, page 29, Heart Sutra. Yesterday we talked about the two clear lights, subjective clear light and objective clear light. So Heart Sutra, what explains is primarily the subjective clear light. So when we recite the Heart Sutra, let us not miss to remember the 3 points. The first one is, these are very important. This is actually related in the presence of the Buddha, and the Shariputra, blessed by the Buddha, Shariputra asked this question to Avalokiteshvara. And in the presence of the Buddha, Avalokiteshvara responded, he gave the response, and how for somebody who is seeking Buddhahood should practice the professional wisdom, should practice the wisdom. So this is what is taught there. And from this makes us, okay, so this is something, for example, let's say that somebody tells you that, yes, they are. I'm not just creating a story. There are people who tell you that, okay, just do this breathing meditation and this will take you to Buddhahood. This ultimate path. You forget everything else. There's all others are nonsense. There are many people who tell like this. So, what we should be doing is that Buddhahood means, who's authority on this? The Buddha. So, what the Buddha actually taught? And then, for example, Avalokiteshvara, what the Buddha endorsed, how the Buddha endorsed what was taught by Avalokiteshvara. So all these are there. You should be able to track the route. If you want to know what Alvarensen said, then don't just be satisfied, complacent with listening to what somebody who knows a little bit about physics says. Instead, after listening to that, then try to track the original words of Albert Einstein. Likewise, when you say about, this will take you to Buddhahood, then go to the original words of the Buddha himself. So this Heart Sutra is exactly what the Buddha endorsed when Shariputra, the Avalokiteshvara, responded to the question asked by Shariputra. So with this in mind, say the 3 things to keep in mind. Number 1 is in the presence of the Buddha, through the blessings of the Buddha, Shariputra stood up to make prostrations to the Buddha and then turned towards Avalokiteshvara, asking the question, how should the child of the lineage practice the perfection wisdom? What do you mean by child of the lineage? The lineage here is the lineage of the Buddhahood. Lineage of Buddhahood. And child of lineage, meaning in the past, like 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, even today, we have these remnants here, that the son, or in some cases, even the daughters of the kings and the queens, they're considered so important. Why? Because that this young child is going to become the leader of the whole kingdom, of the entire empire. So likewise, that somebody who makes a commitment, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, that person becomes so important as the lineage holder of the Buddhahood. This person is going to become Buddha. So each one of us, who is that person? Anybody, whether you are male or female, it doesn't matter. Whether you are Eastern or Western, it doesn't matter. Whether you're educated or uneducated, it doesn't matter. Whether you're a believer or non-believer, it doesn't matter. Anybody who makes a commitment that, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, you become the child of the lineage. So with this in mind, that you become the child of the lineage, then you have a responsibility. That you said that, may I become Buddha. How will you become Buddha? By practicing the perfection of wisdom. How should you practice the perfection of wisdom? This next question. So all these answers in great detail about emptiness is taught there. And of course, with the Mahamudra, the first part of the Mahamudra is identifying your mind or recognizing your mind. And then second part of the Mahamudra is to see the emptiness of the mind. Okay, so this emptiness is in great detail is taught here. We will see that. So number 2, what's the response given by Avalokiteshvara to Shariputra? How to practice the wisdom of emptiness. Then point number 3, not to miss, is that was a benefit if you practice the wisdom of emptiness. So Avalokiteshvara said that this wisdom of emptiness is the ultimate gateway for all the Buddhas to traverse to attain enlightenment. Ultimate gateway. So with this, you become fearless. You will attain perfection. This is the only gateway followed by all the Buddhas. Okay. So with this, and then finally the Buddha endorsed. The Buddha got out from his meditative samadhi, and then being a Buddha, having access to the true truth simultaneously. Ultimate truth, compassionate truth. Then while he was absorbed in meditative concentration, he was also having direct access to what the dialogue happening between Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, and the Buddha endorsed the response given by Avalokiteshvara. Okay, we'll recite this together. The Heart Sutra, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the irretrievable gem. And thus did I hear to one time, the Buddha was dwelling on the mass of vultures mountain of Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara. How should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom should look upon like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without a characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental conscious element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the 3 times also manifest a complete awakening to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the mantra of unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the non-equal, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the professional wisdom is declared, Deyata Om Gade Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva should train in the profound professional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha rose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aravalukiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound professional wisdom, just as you've indicated, even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharitvatiputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aravalukiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised as spoken by the Buddha. Okay, as we recite this mantra, let us visualize that we are in the Vajra speak, where the Heart Sutra actually, the discourse on the Heart Sutra happened, where the Buddha Shakyamuni presided over, and Aravalokiteshvara, and Shariputra there, and all the monks, the bodhisattvas, later Buddhas. They imagine that you are just in the first row, the first row, right next to the Buddha, and his own Dalai Lama, Aravalokiteshvara, Shariputra, and you are surrounded by your two parents, your children, all them are sentient beings. And imagine that the Buddha is actually telling you, have no fear, come to the state of ultimate happiness and total fearlessness. And you hearing this extremely melodious voice of Buddha Shakyamuni, you then proclaim this to all the different sentient beings. Look, this is what our very compassionate teacher Buddha Shakyamuni is giving the assurance to us. Let us all go from the state of misery to the state of ultimate happiness. And all sentient beings, your parents, your children, everyone, all beings, they are so inspired to hear what you're saying, and they come along with you towards Buddhahood. So with this mind, let us recite this. And going towards Buddhahood is just the process of cleansing your mind. Deyata Om Gade Gade Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. By the teachings of three supreme jewels possessing power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, May all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Page 35, 8 verses of my training. By Geshe Damdul with the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I recognize all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my true collections, vast space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the shield-wielding Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom are blinded with ignorance. Next is 17th puja, to purify the negativities and accumulate the maximum virtues and merits. Excerpt from the King of Prayers, extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samadhi. I bow down to the youthful I am Manjushri. You, the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, and the world of 10 directions. All of you, with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas numberless as atoms. Each of them is a host of Bodhisattvas. I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With infinite ocean of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Siddhas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense I offer to you victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfume, scented powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings and spectacular array offered to you victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment and anger and confusion, all these openly lay bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions. Our solitary realizers here are still training in those beyond, out of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of worlds in 10 directions, who are attained of Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons, numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that I now dedicate all this for the benefit of awakened of all beings. Okay, mental offering. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this is a Buddha filled and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. Ven Geshe Damdul Mahamoudra. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The four Dhammas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva, becoming utterly frustrated with ignorance that grasps it to existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of the bliss in emptiness. Idam Guru Radnam and Lagam Nirati. Amen. The foundation of all good qualities, the roadmap to enlightenment, Balama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect, understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once. It's greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtues and non-virtues come and follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is a draw to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Let about this pure thought in it, mindfulness and alertness and good question arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the pradimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother my creature beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing my creature beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly with my mind stream the unified path of Kamabhari inspection inside. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing true attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of stages in the path, may quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay. Mix of mantra. First we'll say it in English. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroy a host of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sage of lead with snows, looks on top at your feet and make prostrations. Om Bo Jam Be Yang Chen Ke Be Zu Ye Zu Ka Ba Lo Sa Cha Be Sha La So Wa De Me Me Ze Ve De Je Je Re Se Che Me Ke Me Om Bo Jam Be Yang Kan Jen Ke Be Zu Ye Zong Ka Ba Lo Sa Ta Be Sha La So Wa De Me Me Ze Ve De Je Je Re Se Te Me Ke Me Om Bo Jam Be Yang Han Jen Ke Me Zu Ye Zong Ka Ma Lo Sa Ta Be Sha La So Wa De. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sage of the land of snows, Lobsang Taba, at your feet and make prostrations. Okay, now the 4 main points. 1, the meditation, single point of meditation. Number 2, renunciation. 3, bodhicitta. And wisdom of emptiness, and taking the expression bodhisattva vow. Okay. Single point of meditation. Yesterday, did you explain it? No. Single point of meditation. For this group?
Yes, we did some
No, we have to check with the people who came just yesterday, not with the people who came before. Syrian? No? Okay, this is what I'm saying. Okay, Isabel, where's Isabel? Wait, did we go through the explanation of the meditation? No. Okay. So this is very important. Those people who are from day one, you already know that. So basically, what we're doing here is that we are trying to become Buddha. We have to remove the mental developments, and the law, how it works, is that the mental developments, they should be, to remove this, we need to introduce a counter force, like darkness. We have to remove you have to remove this by introducing the light. And this light, to remove the darkness of ignorance, we have to introduce the light of the wisdom. So what is this light of the wisdom? This light should have 2 qualities, is in a very basic principle. Light should have 2 qualities. One is that it should be very bright. The purpose, let's say, for us to read the books. And if the light is not bright, if the light is very faint, you can read the books. So the light should be very bright, number 1. Then number 2 is that even if the light is very bright, for example, like the candle flame, If the light is flickering, again, we cannot read the books. So the light must be very steady. And likewise, the wisdom should be extremely sharp and intelligent. And two, that the wisdom should be very stable and very steady. The sharpness of the wisdom is determined by two. One is the object, one is the subject. Subject-wise, it should be the subtlest, which is the subject of clear light. And object-wise, it should be the subtlest of the object, which is the ultimate reality, emptiness. Then the steadiness. For this, we need what is known as the shamatha meditation. And eventually, these three should be fused together. Subject, clear light, then object, clear light, then the combined together with the shamatha. So that is required. So for the shamatha practice, we have, this, I'm sure all of you have some degree of meditation, the exposure, but it's so important that we must be following a very authentic the source. Oftentimes people say that I do meditation. I started doing this by looking at the YouTube. So this is not sufficient. It can lead you to a grave problem eventually. So for that matter, the four things to keep in mind for a proper motivation, for a proper the single point meditation, or referred to as the shamatha meditation. One is the body posture. This is so important. And for the body posture is also referred to as the 7-limb Vairochana body posture. And the one is cross-legged, where your left foot on your right leg, right foot on your left leg. So this cross-legged body is very important. And next one is body upright. And if you have knee problem, no need to sit cross-legged. Whatever is more comfortable, sit that way. But the backache and the back upright. Back should not lean against the support. This is extremely important. And if you have backache problem, you're exempted. So idea is that back should be upright, not bent, upright, not leaning against the support. Okay. Then your head tilted forward a little bit and eyes not closed. Number two important thing is eyes not closed. Eyes should be half open, 45 degrees cast down, and just ignore. And then breathe normally. Don't chase after the breath. No, control the breath. Just let it flow very normally. And then the tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate to avoid excessive saliva in your mouth. And then right hand and left hand, two tips of the thumbs joining, forming a triangle. Place the two hands on your lap in restful state. This is your body posture. The next, what we're going to meditate on, we're going to do a very simple one. And last time, as I indicated, that the Arya Sangha in the Shravaka Bhumi, the text, a short text there, Arya Sangha taught in great detail so many versions of breathing meditation. So what we're doing here is a very simple one. Just count the breath. Count the breath, and if you succeed in this, yes, then you are eligible. I would say that this is one of the criteria required for somebody to practice the Mahamudra. So if you can't do this, then the Mahamudra is far away. Okay, so the first one is say just counting the breath. Breath in, breath out. Cycle 1, breath in, breath out. Cycle 2. This is what we're going to do for here collectively. We do for 5 minutes. Whereas when you're by yourself, if you're a beginner in the meditation, I would suggest you to do just like 21 cycles, which is a little over 1 minute. And then quality must be emphasized. Quality. Right from the beginning, if you just go for the quantity without the quality, it is a great damage to your mindset, and then it could become an extremely bad habit. In other words, that the medicine turns into poison. Once the medicine turns into poison, there's no medicine left to cure you. So the meditation that we do right from the beginning, we should make sure that you focus on the quality. Okay. And if you're competent, then along with the counting the breath, multitasking, you also focus on tiny white dot, 1 mm, let's say the 2 mm or 3 mm in diameter of a tiny white dot, nectar-like dot between nose and the upper lip. So just focus on that and then count the breath. These two things should happen together. And if you don't think that you can do it within like 1 week, it's too early to say that I cannot do. You have to put effort. So after like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if you realize that, I cannot do 2 things, then go for one of these 2. Okay, ready? This is one part. Then the next, the point number 3 is identifying the errors of meditation. What mistakes can we make when we meditate? So, for that, there are 2 broad mistakes. Broadly speaking, there are 2 mistakes. One is the mental laxity. Mental laxity is the inactivity of the mind. Your mind feels heavy, lethargic, sinking. This is one problem. Other problem is the overactivity of the mind, referred to as the mental excitement, where your mind starts to be distracted, scattered, and the thoughts going here and there. This is mental excitement. And these are 2 errors. Should any of these 2 things happen within you, then you go for the number 4, apply the remedies. And the remedy is twofold: introspection and mindfulness. Introspection is to keep an eye on your mind to see if your mind is meditating, or it is falling asleep, or it is getting distracted. And then with the mindfulness, once you identify that your mind is not meditating, rather distracted and in a relaxed state, then apply the mindfulness. Mindfulness is to bring the mind back to the intended object of meditation. Ready? 5 minutes. Okay, next of the 4 points, number 1 is the single point meditation which we did. Number 2 is renunciation. As for the meditation per se is of 2 kinds. One is single point meditation, and the other one is analytical meditation. 2. And the single point meditation which we already did to build stability. The next one is to bring the sharpness of your mind. Sharpness, intelligence, and the ability to see many layers of reality. For that matter, we need analytical meditation. And what are we doing now? Renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, and emptiness. These 3 things, they're all analytical. And we're going to do, what we're doing here is like guided meditation. It's going to be guided. We try to follow the instructions as much as possible while doing the meditation here, given that the duration is very short. They say advised not to try to bring about correlations with what I'm saying, instruction that I'm giving, with what you have heard before. And if you want to make correlations, you can make correlations later on after meditation, not at this stage. At this stage, your job is try to invoke the experience to the best you can. Okay, ready? Renunciation is to renounce miseries, to renounce all your fears. To renounce miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of miseries. The Buddha taught, Ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena arise from the causes. They don't arise randomly. Unless you deal with the causes, the results in the form of sufferings cannot be eradicated. So how to eradicate the cause of the miseries? It is best taught by the Buddha to eradicate the misconceptions or the ignorance. And there are 4 misconceptions identified by the Buddha. The first, misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent. Misconceiving impure things as pure. Misconceiving suffering as of happiness. And misconceiving things which are dream-like without self-nature as self-hurt and as objectified. To get rid of the first ignorance, the Buddha taught all composite things impermanent. Let us think of the beautiful events, things that happened in your life 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago. Today, they're all just like dreams. They're all gone. They just become a faint memory. And beautiful sunset which you experience is all just gone. And for all the money and happiness, they're very fleeting in nature. Your youth, gone now. This is what the Buddha summarized in Vajracchedika, Dhammanikata Sutra. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such, to see how all composite phenomena are like this. 200 years ago, there were people like today what we're doing. Some people, they're meditating, they're using their life so productively, and others just engaged in indulgence, wasting their life, not knowing that they're wasting their life. And the parents having so much expectation on the children, and the children, the young ones, they have so much of expectation of their careers and so forth. Today, after 200 years, where are these people? Not even a single person is left. Whether the goals are accomplished or not accomplished, they're all gone. And likewise, 200 years down the line in the future, the 8 billion human beings that exist today, guaranteed, not even so, a single person will be left then. This is reality. So, the wise people, they think, they're able to think, they're able to have a full thought of the reality and plan accordingly rather than be sucked up by the intelligence of this life. And this impermanence, yes, you can see the haunted towns, haunted cities, and the place once where the civilization thrived and now become a desert. This is all the impermanence. And this impermanence is known as gross impermanence. So important for us to reflect on this gross impermanence. And this gross impermanence, visible impermanence, is possible only if there's a change happening within. The changes that you see, if you're 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old, the change that you see in the span of the number of years is possible only if there's a change happening within a year by year. And the changes that you see in the happening on the year by year is possible only if there's change happening on the month by month, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second, millisecond by millisecond, nanosecond by nanosecond. If you meditate to reduce this impermanence from the grosser to the subtler, to the subtler, to the even subtler, it's very scary. That all composite things within them, we see the transitoriness. Momentariness changing millisecond by millisecond, nanosecond by nanosecond. And anything which is composite phenomena, your body, your mind, the world in which we live, the people around you, they all move so fast with this momentary changes undergoing. If you could really feel this, it's very scary. It is like you on the train station, a stranger suddenly picks you up and throws you a very fast moving train. Nowadays, all these hijackings can happen. So, what's your experience? If somebody throws you in a very fast moving train, a stranger does it, so much of fear. The faster the train, more the fear. Why fear? Because you don't know where this train is taking. And who decides where this train is taking you? The train driver. If the train driver is your mother, father, no doubt this train will take you to a picnic spot. But if the train driver is the terrorist, or under the sway of the terrorists, no doubt it'll take you to a slaughterhouse. Like the aeroplanes hitting the Twin Towers in America many years ago. So this is all because of the terrorists controlling the driver. So in our case, what is the driver? Where our mind is moving so fast, our body is moving so fast, our whole world is moving so fast. In our case, the driver is none other than our own mind, and unfortunately, this mind is under the sway of the demons, terrorists, the worst of which are the contaminations of the mind, self-grasping ignorance, complemented by the self-centered attitude. As long as we are under the sway of this contamination, the self-grasping ignorance, when complemented by the self-centered attitude, it will only take us to miseries. This is what the Buddha indicated as all contaminated things of suffering nature. Suffering like what? Sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, bewilderment, confusion, the pain of the loss of near and dear ones, so forth. Yes, we all have these experiences. We all agree with me that one moment of such a pain, for example, losing near and dear ones, is good enough to nullify all the past experiences of merriments, celebrations, birthday parties, and so forth, as so trivial, as so shallow, as so meaningless. Yes, this is the true reality of the life of samsara. Is there a way out? Yes, that's very true. When will this stop? Is it like 2021, which stopped on its own? No. Impermanence is of three kinds. One, the continuum which invariably stops on its own without having the need of external factors. For example, your youth. Nobody forced to stop it. It stopped on its own. the past merriments, happiness, they're gone. 2021, gone, undone. Okay, what about miseries? No, that's the second class of impermanent phenomena, where whose continuum never comes to an end no matter what you do. Although impermanent phenomena, but whose continuum never comes to an end. For example, your mind, yourself, the person, time, they never come to an end on their own. Okay, what about my miseries? What about all this acute, agonizing pains of my life? Yes, they belong to the third category. The continuum which will never come to an end unless until we put concerted effort. What kind of effort? Yes, if we put effort, they will come to an end. For example, the miseries of the Prince Siddhartha came to an end already because we put 6 years of concerted effort and a meditation on the wisdom of emptiness and driven by the force of bodhicitta. But without this effort, it will never come to an end on its own. Okay, what kind of effort is required? We require the counterforce to eradicate the root cause of all the miseries. What's the root cause of all the miseries? The wisdom, the self-grasping ignorance. And what is the remedy to overcome this root cause, self-grasping ignorance? The wisdom. What is the wisdom? Wisdom, by the definition, is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tells you the reality. What's the reality? The reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. What is this emptiness? Okay, let us quickly meditate on emptiness. It's going to be guided, and if you are never exposed to emptiness meditation, it can be quite confusing. It doesn't matter. This is how we have to get used to. Just follow the instructions. What are you doing? I'm meditating. And what is your body doing? My body is in meditative posture. How does this person appear to you? How does this person who identified as I appear to you? It appears. Does it appear like a dream that your mind is projecting it, or not like a dream at all, so solidly there, nothing to do with my mind? Yes, of course, in the second way, that it appears so solidly there, objectified, nothing to do with mind. This belief is known as self-grasping ignorance. Believing that things exist is so objectively real, not as a mental imputation. Okay, how do you know that this is ignorance? To know that this is ignorance, remember what Nagarjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Likewise, if this self identified as I were to exist objectively, why don't I see this self as I go closer to this object? Okay, now let us go closer to this object. Going beyond what you see as self by the conventional mind. So as you go closer to the object, this mind which goes closer to the object known as ultimate analysis. Subjecting this self to ultimate analysis, let us just ignore all those which are not the self, because you are looking for the objective existence self. So for that matter, we go closer to the object. Going closer to the object, we see the thin layer of the skin. Of course, that is not me. Behind that, fatty tissues. Not me. Behind that, the muscles, cartilages, the bone, the whole skeleton. Heart, the lungs, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, stomach, intestine. None of these solid parts is this self. None of these solid parts constitute the element of earth. None of the element of earth is to be identified as intrinsically or objectively the self. Okay. If these solid parts is not to be identified as the object, the self, then what about the element of the element of water? The 4 liters of blood which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that is not me. Which element of water is also not me. Element of fire, 2,500 joules of energy that your body has. Of course, that is also not me. Keep that aside. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that we breathe in and out through your lungs. Of course, that is not me. Element of space, 99.9% of our body is space, made of space. And of course, I'm a solid person, space vacuum in nature. The space, element of space, also not me. What is left now? Element of consciousness or the element of mind. Element of consciousness or the element of mind is also not me. I'm a male, I'm a female. And the gender is possible on the basis of the body, not the mind. But whereas I'm a male, I have a gender. Mind does not have a gender. So therefore this mind is also not me. And also that people from distance can see me, but people cannot see my mind. So it's clearly the indication that this mind, my mind, is not the self. Okay. Now what are you seeing? With this, when there's subject to this ultimate analysis, what do you see? I just see the 6 elements. If at all there is something, there's a self, it should be either one of these aggregates, one of these 6 elements to be identified as self, or different from the 6 elements to be identified as objectively as a self. Which is true? None of the two is true. The self cannot be identified as intrinsically one with these 6 elements, nor to be seen as different from the 6 elements. Removing the 6 elements, nothing is there to be identified as a self. Okay, now you have come too close to the object. What is the self? Coming too close to objects, nowhere is there to be identified as the self. Self simply dissolves. Stay in this experience for a while. And this experience that the self is empty, it doesn't mean that self does not exist. Self does exist in the eyes of the conventional analysis. But what we find here is that the self-dissolving, self is empty, is with respect to the ultimate analysis. So, self being empty in the eyes of ultimate analysis doesn't mean the self does not exist. It simply means that the self does not exist objectively. So how we see the self objectively, that is deceptive. It doesn't mean the self doesn't exist. Okay, this experience that the self dissolves in the experience of ultimate analysis, stay in this experience for a while. Okay, this is indeed a very profound experience. But what is the benefit of this meditation? Yes, just as the self dissolves in this experience of ultimate analysis, all your sorrows, all your miseries, if you subject the same thing to the ultimate analysis, they will also dissolve. Your sorrows will dissolve. Your sorrows will be transcended. Transcending sorrow, instantly, the absolute peace will dawn in you. Okay. So seeing that this self dissolves, all the sorrows dissolve. This is known as nirvana. In the experience of emptiness, the sorrow dissolves. This experience of this is the most advanced version of nirvana. And aspiring to attain the state of experience of emptiness, where all the sorrow is transcended, is the most refined understanding of renunciation. Stay in this experience of desperation, that may I attain this experience of emptiness where all my sorrows are transcended. Stay in this experience for a while. This is the most refined renunciation. Okay, slowly come out of this meditation on renunciation, and let us take a few seconds gap before we proceed to the bodhicitta practice. Are you ready? Now, because of constraint of time, we will do only the first 2 measurements. Okay, when you're by yourself, you are recommended to do the two bodhicittas, the methods of the bodhicitta are same, depending on you. You can do them both one after the other, or you can do you can alternate between the two every day. The two methods. First one, the sevenfold course of method is in bodhicitta, and the second one, the method of equalizing the exchanges of others. These two methods, and these two are so precious. I remember during His Holiness's teaching on the Shri Kalachakra Shri and the Herika Shri Chakra Samvara empowerment, and at the end of the teaching, His Holiness said that if you take me as to your spiritual guru, then you must practice bodhicitta and a wisdom of emptiness. So if this is what qualifies for you, then I would say that these two methods, you must learn what these two methods are. A sevenfold course of method and the method of equalizing exchanges of others. You have to study these two and practice them. Okay. So here, because constraint of time, and also that we are doing it collectively, we do it with the help. We do the four immeasurables, and then we take the expression, we generate this bodhicitta spirit. And for this, the four immeasurables, again, we're going to do just the first two for today. And from tomorrow, depending on the time, most likely from tomorrow, we'll do all four. Ready? And no doubt it'll be, for many of us, this is going to be a very superficial practice, because we don't really feel that. And the feeling of this unconditional love, it takes lots of time to reach to that level, only through these two methods. And even though it's superficial, it doesn't matter. So we have to do this, like practice music. You play the music, and so first it's going to be very superficial, and over time it becomes real. So this is how we practice it. Ready? Immeasurable compassion. So here we'll do the immeasurable compassion first, followed by loving kindness. Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings... Okay, we are not to say the verses, just reflect on meanings. The following instructions and reflect on meanings mentally. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Causes of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude, and the offshoots in the form of the very gross afflictions and the contaminant karmas and the subtle stains. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that we are making such a courageous commitment, like the mother after all these many years of hardship in raising our children. Today, the eldest daughter, just age 12, eldest son, just age 11, two of them come to the mother, tell the mother, Mother, you have sacrificed everything for us. You love us so much. You have done everything for us. And now we are grown up. They will take care of you. We'll take care of our siblings. Please take rest. And Mother could not believe her eyes and ears. But there's a tremendous joy, the tears of joy rolling down her cheeks. This is exactly what is happening to all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas. The Buddhas Bodhisattvas are so proud and happy to see that you have made such a courageous commitment. And this pride and happiness invoke the compassion omniscient minds of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to send for nectars very soothing lights towards you and all the sentient beings. Their mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies begins to yours, frees the beings, washes away all the miseries and the causes of the miseries from your mind and the dear sentient beings' mind. and you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all the demon sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths and with relief. Immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The cause of happiness primarily consisting of the most fearless wisdom of emptiness and the most beautiful mind of the Bodhicitta. May all my dear sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that we make such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the conversion of nation minds to send forth nectars of soothing lights towards you and all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars where the bodies beings yours instills in all happiness and causes happiness within you and all dear sentient beings. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the dear sentient beings. You're intensely happy and proud of you. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths out with relief. Underscoring all the four immeasurables is unconditional love towards all dear sentient beings. Just abide in this unconditional love that you feel towards all beings now. Okay, with the spirit of unconditional love, with folded hands, let us make the Buddhist commitment 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. I stay in this experience of the most beautiful mind of the Bodhicitta, the most beautiful mind that can possibly exist in this whole universe. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean white moon disk, horizontally sitting on your heart. Okay, it is amazing that you made such a gracious commitment to become Buddha, but how come that you can't become Buddha? How come? No matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil will come out of that. Yes, that's true. But I'm not like a handful of sand, like for a handful of sunflower seeds. Of the Buddha nature within me, I'm putting effort. This Buddha nature will become manifest. But how come that you did not manifest this Buddha nature since time immemorial till now? That's true. Till now I've been deceived by the 2 demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. Today I'm disillusioned by these 2, and I'll put concerted effort to get rid of these 2 demons. I'll try all my efforts to exterminate these 2 demons. What kind of effort? But a very powerful remedy of the ultimate Bodhicitta, which is a non-dual wisdom of emptiness of the Arya Bodhisattvas. What is that? Okay, let us quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness, which we did as a meditation on the 3rd seal. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does this person appear to you? like a dream projected by your mind, or as object real, nothing to do with the mind. Yes, of course, so object real, nothing to do with the mind. This is self-grasping ignorance. And how can I get rid of this? By resorting to the wisdom of emptiness. Okay. Just subject itself to ultimate analysis. If the self does exist objectively the way it appears, it must be found through the ultimate analysis, which goes closer towards the object to see where the self is. And going closer to the object, we just see the 6 elements: earth, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. Which of the 6 elements is to be identified as objectively one with the self? None. Okay, fine. So if see if the self exists intrinsically different from the 6 elements. Remove the 6 elements. What is the self? Nothing is there left there to be identified as the self. Okay, from this we get a very clear picture that none of the 6 elements is to be identified as objective of the self. No, different from the 6 elements to be identified as objective of the self. Where is the self? Objective existence self now? Nowhere. Everything is just empty. The self dissolves. Stay in this experience of the emptiness, the most fearless mind. Slowly transform this mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotlessly clean thumb-sized white vajra, vertically sitting on the Montesquieu heart. Okay, so now you have the 2 bodhicittas. The moon symbolizing the conventional bodhicitta to exterminate your self-centered attitude. The Vajra symbolizing the ultimate bodhicitta to exterminate the self-grasping ignorance and its offshoots and the subtle stains, thereby remove the 2 obscurations, to make you experience the infinite, the total fearlessness and infinite happiness, becoming Buddha. That's amazing. Yes, you're right. But let's not miss to remember them. All your demon sentient beings are there. They are suffering. Yes, with tremendous, incredible compassion towards all the demon sentient beings, and this compassion invokes the Vajramuni heart to multiply infinite number of times. And share one set of Vajramun at the heart of your mother, one set of Vajramun at the heart of your father, one set with each one of your children, one with each of the sentient beings here in Sencom Culture Center, one with each of the sentient beings in France, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe. Now, all the sentient beings have this Vajramun that you share with them. That's amazing. This is how kind you are, so loving to all the demon sentient beings. Let's not forget that all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they're watching us. Why not we invite all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the guests and also to be the witness to our undertaking the ceremony of the taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. As a gesture of making this request to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, let us slowly stand and make 3 prostrations along with all demon sentient beings. Okay, except for those who have knee problems, backache problems, I would suggest that you sit on your right knees, if you can. Sit on your right knees to take this aspirational Bodhisattva vow. Okay, on your right knees, if you can. Whereas if you have knee problems, back problem, fine, you can sit in the most comfortable position. And this is, we are taking the aspirational bodhisattva vow. And for the aspirational bodhisattva vow, there's no specific commitment. The maximum commitment that you have is that I'll try my best to be helpful, kind towards others. If not, at least I'll not harm others. This much if you can commit, you're entitled to take the aspirational bodhisattva vow. And the benefit is enormous, as the Buddha indicated, that one moment of practicing compassion is far what excels the offering the whole universe filled with gems to all bodhisattvas. So this is what the Buddha indicated. Therefore, this is of tremendous benefit, and this will also be a major factor to ripen into bodhicitta when you practice it. Okay, and with this in mind, let's turn to page 50. Okay, let us reinforce the visualization of all the Buddhas, bodhisattvas in the space in front of us, and your parents, your children, and all the other sentient beings are with you. And just imagine that all these many lifetimes, we just wasted them. Not only wasted, we engaged in negativities, but the Buddhas, bodhisattvas, they feel they're sad. But today you are doing something so special. Just imagine that you are like a child, 5 years old girl or 5 years old boy, for the first time in your life making a public appearance on behalf of your school, and your parents are so proud. The Buddhas, bodhisattvas, they're so proud of you, and your parents they leave all the works behind to come to be one of the one in the audience, and waving the hands to you, reassuring that we are here, we are proud of you, and this is exactly what you're doing, in front of all the Buddhas, bodhisattvas, like your parents. So, and you not only that you are taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow, you are encouraging all the dear sentient beings to join you, like the eldest child taking along with her or him all the other siblings to do something good. So with this in mind, and let us recite the verses together, which we already explained yesterday. And just try our best to reflect on the meanings. This is so important. The first line 3 times together. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Okay, just feel the joy over having received the aspiration bodhisattva vow. We are very fortunate, so meritorious, and this act of taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow makes all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas so proud and so happy, like the mother, after all these many years of receiving complaints over her daughter, over her son, from the school principal. Today the school principal, imagine the school principal comes to the mother, and the mother again very apprehensive, what my child must have done, what become the next complaint. And school principal, no, this is not about complaint, this is to tell you that your daughter and your son, two of them I pointed as the best of the students of this school for this year. The mother could not believe her eyes and ears. So proud. This is exactly what all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel today. They're so proud of you having taken a special Bodhisattva vow. And this pride and happiness Buddhists and Bodhisattvas feel invoke the Virgin Moon at their heart in full-fledged form to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, and these replicas of the Virgin Moon descend to merge with the one that you visualize to your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all these innumerable replicas from the replicas of Virgin Moon from the hearts of the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they just merge with the one that you visualize at the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, each one of your children, and all the dear sentient beings, human beings, animals here in this FPMT Kalachakra Center, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, help beings, spirits, God and goddesses, and everyone in France, and in the whole world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and the entire universe, everyone, thereby they become non-dual with the Virgin Moon visualized in their respective hearts. They stabilized and blessed, and this is so precious. And the best gift that you can imagine making, giving to the beings, giving to all the demonstration beings. This is it, and today you did it. And of all the offerings, the Buddha very clearly indicated that the best of the offering would be the offering of the practice of the compassion of the bodhicitta. And today you offered this to all the bodhisattvas. And for the individual's life, we see that this is the greatest of the meaning of one's life. And today you have extracted this meaning, and you have given this meaning to your life. And this is so precious. We are extremely fortunate. And this all happens because of the kindness of all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations, along with all dear sentient beings. Okay, English, page 51. Yes, indeed, we are very fortunate that we got the opportunity to take this aspiration Bodhisattva vow collectively in this life. But what about the next life? We're not sure, for that matter, in order that this thing, that we are connected with the teaching on the two bodhicittas, even in the next life, we put that in the form of a very powerful prayer. So for that matter, we include this in the form of this verse here. Let's say this 3 times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. And then, in order to, they once connected with this teaching on the teaching on the two bodhicittas, how to make sure that we rigorously engage in this practice. Sometimes we do come in contact with the Dharma, but we are not too serious because we don't find joy in them. Whereas some people, they come in contact with the Dharma, they rigorously engage in this practice, and they follow the path so quickly, so swiftly. Gati happens so fast. So these are all determined by your feeling of joy over this practice. So the following verses are taken from Bodhisattva Shantideva's text to feel the joy of having received the expression Bodhisattva. Okay. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized an awakened mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly be praised in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now am one of Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind person discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise, by some coincidence, an awakened mind has been born within me. Is there a supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death? Is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world? Is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease? Is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence? Is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth? Is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions? Is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world? Is the quintessential butter from the channel of the milk of Dharma? For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the boundless happiness, this will satisfy them with joy, and it shall place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, let us dedicate the merits that's gathered. We no doubt we accumulate so much of merit and virtues. Let us dedicate the merits that's gathered with the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth. That is, that he live long and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. Also, let us dedicate the merits that's gathered that all the great teachers in the big monastic universities, like the Ganden Sera Depong, and from the Chinese tradition, from the Tibetan tradition, from the Sakya tradition, Kagyu tradition, Nyingma Kagyu tradition, Gelu tradition, from all these traditions where these teachings the study, reflection, and meditation on the two bodhicittas is happening, may these centers join the activities. And also let us pray that all the monastic members, the great scholars and the practitioners, they have the harmonious, they have the peace of mind, they have all the resources, whatever, for their sustenance of Dhamma practice. And let us also pray that Dhamma centers such as Kalachakra thrive in the activities, and the people who work in these centers, they have good health, a long life, and that their Dhamma practice becomes successful. And may the teaching on the bodhicitta and wisdom emptiness thrive in all the directions, wherever everywhere in the universe. With this, let us recite the verses together. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the days and prayers of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds were blinded with ignorance. Okay, here there's a mention of may I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle. 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, it is in the endnote, and those of us who were present in the earlier the teaching, we know that. And those who came just yesterday, I'm going to explain this very quickly. What are the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle? For Dhamma practice, number 1 is to meet with the authentic Mahayana teaching is extremely important. For us, we met with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, most of us. And then most of us also met with Lama Subaramacharya. In my case, I met so many great teachers. So this is very important, to meet with the authentic Mahayana teaching who can give you the very comprehensive picture of the path of enlightenment, number 1. Then number 2, environment is very important, that you are close to Kalachakra Center in Paris, many of you, and it is also extremely important environment. So to meet with the correct environment. And then the number 3 is that that in order that these things happen, say for example, okay, we like to build a beautiful center, for which we need some resources. So the resources for the next life to meet with Dharma and so forth is the merit. So you pray, you build the aspiration that I will accumulate as much merit in this life as possible. And then this merit, say you may have huge amount of material resources, and what are you going to use this for? So, okay, so I'll go to, this beach, that hotel, this, and then you can just waste money, millions of dollars just in 1-2 weeks' time. You can easily finish this off without any purpose. Whereas some people, whatever resource they have, what are you going to do with this? So this I'm going to use for, I'll say, the education purpose, for the health purpose, and so forth. They dedicate it properly. So in other words, steering the virtues properly, that is the dedication, that your aspiration for a specific goal, that my dedication should not be wrongly directed, it should be proper. So the enough merit accumulation and dedicating the virtues properly. So these 2 things, aspiration to actually take birth in the human life, while meeting with the Dharma, with a good teacher, with a good environment, and then practice the 2 bodhicittas to benefit all sentient beings. So these are the 4 the wheels of the minor vehicle. Number 1, to meet with the authentic minor teacher. Number 2, to meet with the correct environment where you can practice Dhamma well. Number 3, accumulation of enough merit, a lot of merit. And then that your mind be always trained to direct the merits in a proper direction of meeting with the Dharma, practicing Dharma, and so forth. Okay. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Okay, 3 processions together, and we'll come back at 9:15.